Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Tell me, boy.
I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, bitch, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, bitch, I'm paranoid.
Ready or what?
Testicles.
Testicles 1, 2. Testicles. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Paranoid Radio Podcast. I am Trebles Garcia, the humble host of this amazing adventure. I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today, and I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check us out at paranoidradio.com, at paranoidradio.com, and do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Guys, I have an amazing episode. Warrior 5 is cooking right fucking now. JB from Rogue One Media. That's right. Patriot, co-host, fucking podcaster, mogul, multimedia freaking engineer. What's up, big dog? How you doing, bro?
What's up, player? Let me get this mic closer to me.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up, people?
Yo,
I hope the people are enjoying this because it was definitely a ride. So I hope you guys are going for the ride as well.
I've had a couple of diehards hit me up. They're like, yo, why isn't this shit on Netflix? And I'm like, dude, you're
That's
asking
good.
the wrong person, bro. You know,
That's a good response. Yeah, it's going to have to be one day. One day it's going to
Yeah.
have to be. I thought about shooting it myself, like, but without me being the main character, getting like a younger version of me and just kind of shooting it. I thought about it. Yeah, I'm still thinking about it just because it's good enough to do.
gotta
Probably
put it
do it
into
independently,
action.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
In this as a series. And I'm thinking of stop calling it Warrior 4, 5, 6, 7. I
Right.
think this is gonna be episode 1, episode 2, episode 3 of an amazing series.
Right. The
Paranoid.
Warrior, I guess it's the Warrior series that's episode 1, 2, or 3, right?
Yeah. So I'm trying to do
Right? Yeah.
episode 1, 2, 3 instead of like numbers because I don't know how far it's gonna go and rather have it as, you know, part of
I
a
think we're gonna
season.
hit 10. That's what I calculated between this and all this shit that happens after this. As long as the freaking interest is there and it's still good, I think it's got 5 more in them. So sit tight, strap yourselves in.
Yeah, absolutely. Bro, tell me a little bit, bro. Follow up. What happened from 4 to 5?
All right, so
Last
4
time I remember.
I got graded, busted by, you know, the Miami feds, DA. I get extradited to Miami. I'm cleaning and, you know, I'm detoxing, I'm withdrawing, I'm on, you know, I'm basically getting dragged through the court system, which is the worst, man. Like you have no idea, especially when you're going through withdrawals and everything. Like they get you up, whatever, 4 a.m. and then just drag you through, pack you into these cells with like just sardines. You could barely have enough room to sit down either on a bench or on the floor. The bench is hard as a rock. The floor is concrete. It's ice cold, and you're in there for hours, just in pain, dying. You can't move, trying to freaking just maintain. And then they put you into the court. I remember when they called my name in the court because we're all sitting like in the waiting for our names to be called. You're sitting on the side of the bench, the judge's bench. And we're all in cuffs and in our suits, our jumpsuits. And then, you know, you're sitting there for hours. It's just a waiting game. And so when they called my name, I could barely stand up. It was just like, I couldn't stay conscious because I was detoxing. And when you're detoxing from that shit, your brain is mush. Like you can't do it. You can't think for anything. So they call my name and they go like, yo, you got to get up. You got to get up. Fucking. Yeah. So I'm like, pulling myself up, trying to stand up, and they're just like, you know, how do you play whatever? Basically, the DA, the public defender, was trying to see if I could get bail, and they were like, no bail denied. Clink, and then I'm out of there. And then it's basically another back to the jail, and it's a whole another process of sitting on benches and sardines. So that got me to Miami, and then got the bail. Finally, got back to Glendale. And didn't take any, you know, had the test with the shit. I said, I'm not going to do it no more, threw it away. So now it's like, it's September. I was busted in July. It's September. And I'm on bail. So I'm under house arrest, but I don't have an ankle bracelet because we basically said that I'm working with Glendale PD to cooperate. So they took the ankle bracelet. They didn't have me on an ankle bracelet, but I had to get piss tested randomly, and I had to maintain contact with the supervising officer. So that was all in place. And so I was all strict now. It was all by the book for me. So I wasn't selling anymore. I wasn't using anymore. I was just home, basically on the house arrest. And my girl had to get a job, like she had to go out and get a job and start helping out because the money was pretty much gone. I went to the lawyers and whatever was left, I was just living on it. And I was sitting home, I was playing video games. And so, and I was starting to like play poker. I was like all of a sudden home and I'm like starting to look at poker show, like ESPN, the World Series of Poker. And I'm like catching an interest and I start playing for free online. And then, I start really getting into that because I'm home. I got to get into something.
Yeah.
So my lawyer sends me the discovery on what they have on me for the case. And the whole thing is centered around this one conversation that I had with that cop in the transit center with the undercover. I listened to the recording and the charges were conspiracy to distribute methamphetamine. And they also had that FedEx slip and they had Glenn's testimony because Glenn was a witness now against me. Like the guy I was selling to, he was now cooperating with them against me. So his testimony was pretty big. So basically the feds don't drop charges until they have like absolute guaranteed conviction. That's when they'll sit there and wait. They'll put it on the shelf until they know they got a lock solid conviction. They'll let it sit. Just like the original guys that got me, they never pressed charges because they never had a lock solid case. It was just not strong enough for them. So they'd let it go. Because remember they raided me. There was nothing in the house and they couldn't get to the package, whatever. So it was really not a big thing for them, which was a relief. But what he told me was the lawyer was like, they just based on this conversation, and I listened to it. He's like, what you're saying is you're basically saying that you have the best stuff and that it's a moneymaker and that you can do this and that you could put this deal together and that you've been doing these deals. So all of that just on the recording is enough to convict you. And I was like, are you fucking serious? I was like, I fucking said that just to shut the guy up and then get the hell out of there. And I'm thinking I could have probably fought this because that was a super entrapment case. Because if you think about it, originally I was going to do it, but then I backed out and my moral judgment got the best of me. And I said, you know what? I'm not doing this. And I walked away. Remember, I walked away and they called me and hounded me and tried to convince me that, no, we should do this. So they're entrapping me. Like they are now the police that are trying to entrap me, like try to make me change my decision as opposed to me leading it. So I think looking back on it now, I could have fought that case, but Glenn as a witness probably would have sunk me, like him saying, yes, he sent me X amount of packages and we've done X amount of deals together and blah, blah, blah. And so the stuff that he got busted with, what came from JB. So, and the stuff that I had was over 90% pure, and they give you bigger sentences for the purity. So if it was just caught up and stepped on, it would have been weaker shit, and it would have been a weaker, like, danger to the community, lesser sentence. But the 90+% purity gives it raises the freaking sentence on that shit. And that mine was 90% plus.
So it equals more deaths.
Yeah, it's strong. It's like the fentanyl thing, I guess. Crack, all that shit. So, I mean, people don't die on meth. They don't. Like, there's no deaths on meth. It's just, they just act like fucking maniacs and go fucking, they go like the white trash people you see. They lose their minds. Yeah. So they offered me 10 years. This was the offer that they were offering me, 10 years if you take this deal. Otherwise, if you try to fight it and go to trial, you're looking at 17 years. And if you lose, you're looking at 17 years. So my lawyer, basically, I could have got a public defender and got the same deal. So I paid this guy like whatever, 50 grand to basically just do the same thing. And he's like, the best thing you should do is take the deal. He's like, if you're cooperating with Glendale, you take the deal, and then whatever you can accomplish with them, then you knock it down. Like you chip away at it. You got 2 months before the trial, so try to get something done so you can have something to walk in and deal. But this is your best option. And I was like, fuck. So I got basically the game plan is accept the offer for 10 and just try to get some shit done with Glendale, and then see if they can chip away, knock it down to something reasonable. And so I had 2 months to get something done. And then the first month, nothing. I got nothing done the first month. The second month, we're coming to the end of the second month, right before I got to start leaving to go back to the to the court case. And I get a call from a guy that I done some business with like a long time ago. Nice, whatever, regular guy, nothing crazy. And he was looking for a pound of dope, and he had no idea what was up for me. So the call came. And I was just like, yeah, I can take care of that for you. Yeah, I can get that for you. Let's put that together. And
Fucking JV, dude.
I mean, dude, it was like from the grace of God that phone rang because I couldn't get shit. And nobody was near. I had no reach. I had nothing. Nobody was touching. It was just, I was out of the loop. And so all of a sudden I call up Detective Lawrence Glendale and I'm like, hey, listen, I got a fucking, I got an order for a pound. And now a pound for them is a big deal. Like they used to be busting guys with like dime bags and shit and maybe an ounce, but a pound is on the nuts. It's level for them. So that's a good score for them. So she's like, all right, great. So basically they have me come down to the station.
Because you're working with the Glendale police again.
I'm on the team now. Like I'm on the team. Like I'm one of them now. You know, they treat me like one of them now. Like I'm one of the guys. And like, you know, so it's like when they're talking about strategy, they're like, all right, so JB, he's going to do this. And then they call bad guy. Bad guy's going to show up. And then, so I'm not the bad guy no more. I used to be when they were busting me. I was the assholes. Bad guy. So, and you know what? And it was like, you know, for some reason, it's true. Like a lot of these fucking guys, especially the mob guys, they would get into it when they were working with the feds. Like they thought they were cops now. They thought they were Fed agents and they would start acting like they were the government. So because you see that, like, now they start thinking they know the law and everything. So I wasn't fucking getting crazy, but I was just like, at least I'm on the right team. So now they got to supply me with a pound of dope. So they get me a pound of dope from somewhere that they had in their locked up facility. And it had to be I was like, you got to get the quality that my brand represents. I'm like, I can't hand this guy shit. So they were like, well, what do you think it is? And it was pretty good quality. It wasn't on the same level, but it was good enough to just sell it. And so I was like, all right, this will pass. And they would ask me, well, they would just ask me like, how do you think of the quality? What does it smell like? And, just so they can get information. And so then they gave me a wire. They had to put a wire on me, but it was just like a cigarette lighter. It was just a cigarette lighter that was in my jacket. That was a wireless device. It wasn't like I was wires all over me.
Yeah.
Put it in the jacket. And you can hear it from like maybe, I don't know, 1,000 feet away. Nothing. It was inconspicuous and it actually lit. Like you could use it as a lighter. So I was scheduled to meet the guy over in Glendale at this shopping center parking lot. And so it's October now, the end of October. And he like we're basically game plan is I'm gonna get in the back of his car. We're gonna do the exchange. I'm gonna say a code word. And then the code word is have you ever heard of liquid ecstasy? That was the code phrase. Like I was going to ask him if he ever heard of liquid ecstasy. That would let them know that the exchange was made in the car. Then when I get out of the car, I give a hand signal where I just run my hands through my hair like that. That's the hand signal that everything's solid. And I got the money. He's got that. And now I walk away. And then they do their thing. So that's and they're gonna arrest me because it's got to look like I'm getting busted
You're
too.
Part. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the plan. And then we do a little bit of a test mic. And they tell me to test it. So she's gonna text me if she got the signal. I'm like, hey, check 1, 2, boom. Yes, we got it. You're clear. So now the guy shows up. I hop in the car. And it's just him and his girl is in the passenger seat. Yeah, he's got his girl with him. I'm in the back seat. He's a nice guy. He's not like a dangerous guy, but dude, I'm shitting my pants. Like my heart is racing so much and it's quiet. There's no music playing. And all of a sudden I'm trying to control my breath and you can hear my breath quivering, like where I'm just like, you can hear that. And I could hear it and he could hear it. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, fucking, so did you ever hear of liquid ecstasy? I'm like, let's break the ice. Dude, I'm giving myself away. Like, I'm literally giving myself away. And usually I'm calm as a cucumber.
Were you sober?
Yeah, I'm sober as fuck.
This is the problem. Because you had operated at a high efficiency level while you were so fucking lit. At a fucking Home Depot, at a fucking shop, at a fucking Best Buy. You were
I've done it all, dude. I've done all the high pressure situations.
Everything under the influence. And now you're like, dude, the traits of my,
Yeah, I was fucking like, and plus it was like, I've never done this before. I never like sat there and did a deal and had, like this was a new world and it was a lot riding on this. And it's like, I knew I had all the backup behind, like there was nothing that was going to happen to me, but I just didn't want to fuck it up to where he just all of a sudden goes, you know what? I don't think I want to do this anymore. And fucking, and just says, nah, we're good. And then, you know, you could step out now and then it's over, because conspiracy case only works with fucking the feds. It ain't a state thing. So the state, they wouldn't convict anybody on just having a conversation. So that's what I didn't want to have happen. And I'm just like blowing it. So he recognizes that I'm nervous, but it could just be, you know, I could be wired or something, you know, like strung out. And so he doesn't pay much attention to it. And then he's like, nah, he's like, I never heard of the liquid ecstasy. He's like, is that like a gel form or something? So I'm like, all right, cool. He's rolling with this. And then I just, I get the cash, and then I'm like, all right, man, I'll talk to you later. Get out of the car. I do the hand signal. I start walking away. He starts driving away. Next thing you know, the undercovers are like, woo! And they just move in on him like out of nowhere. It's like, where the fuck did these guys come? The lights are flashing inside the dashboards. Out of the car. Then they move in on me. They grab me, throw me up against the freaking car, handcuff me, and then just put me in a squad car and drive off. And then they got him. And so then when we drive off, we just drive back to the station. I give him the cash. I give him the device. We start fucking laughing, high fives, whatever. You did a great job, blah, blah, blah. And then off I go. I go home. And so, and then he's going to the downtown and see if he can work a deal with them. So, you know, that's how it goes.
And it doesn't stop because they need to cycle to continue going.
You want to get up the chain. The whole point is that you want to get somebody more important to the next guy. So you get another guy who's more important. And eventually you get to the top of the chain, which is what they had with me originally. They were leapfrogging a lot of things just because as soon as they got to me, I was already at the top of the chain. So maybe they worked their way up to me. And then the next thing was my guy was almost pretty much at the top. So, but I wasn't there now. This was like, you know, this was a good deal for them. It was like an okay thing for me, but it was something. And just remember, they never busted me with any dope cash. You know, it was like they got cash, but they never got any actual dope. And that's why the crime is the dope, you know, the danger, there's dope. So for me to just have a pound of dope, but I didn't have a pound of dope. They supplied the pound and I got the cash. It was a reverse deal. We were buying, we weren't selling, but it still counts. So now I got something under my belt, and now I'm going back to Miami to go to my court case. And I'm like, all right, at least I got something now. So the whole plan is to just take the plea and ask and request an extension of time to work with Glendale so I could finish the cooperation. So Glendale calls in, they tell him I got this deal done. So that's counting, but they said that we have more work for this guy. We got to finish this investigation. So we need him. So they were fighting for me. They're like, we need him with us so we could finish doing what we started. Can you give him some kind of extension for his thing? So she put the request in, we put the request in, and then I had to go to the court date. And then all of a sudden, like I'm all dressed up, the tie, my family's with me. And then the judge reads me the charges and asks me how I plead. And I'm just like, guilty. I'm like, oh, you know, I had to say guilty because I took the deal.
Because that's the deal. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you know, then he reads off the sentence saying 120 months because they go by months in the Fed. So it's 10 years, 120 months. My grandmother starts crying. She's like, oh, when she hears 10 years. When she hears 120 months, she's like, oh, the family's crying. You know, everybody's just like, oh my God. So I'm like, he's like, do you understand this is what you're accepting? And I was like, yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. And then the lawyer was like, you know, Your Honor, we request at least a little bit of time to get his affairs together and finish working out his case off with Glendale PD. And so I'm like, please, because they could just basically just take me right there. They could just cuff me.
You're turned in already.
Yeah, like I accepted it. I've been sentenced. He puts the gavel down. And now they could just escort me to jail and I'm not going anywhere. That was totally on the table. And so I was just hoping for like a month or two, you know, like just give me, but who gets 10 year sentence and then gets told to self-surrender? Like, yeah, you got 10 years. You could come back and surrender in a month from now.
I'll tell you who, only Donald Trump. he got
white collar guys.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't, he's convicted, but he hasn't been sentenced yet.
Sentencing is going to be you got sentenced and then you had to turn yourself in. I was
sentenced right then and there because I took the plea deal. And so it would all happen right then and there. It was like I already took the plea deal. I accepted it. And then he says, all right, you've been sentenced to 200 because it was already like the deal I accepted was 120 months. So it was all there. Like he didn't accept nothing, Trump. So Now, and I guess like I don't know how the appeals work, but either way, you're going to jail. Like you're going to jail. If it's a narco case, you're not staying on the streets and fighting your case. If it's a white collar crime, you probably could do some kind. I don't really know, but if you get 10 years in white collar, they probably will let you freaking get your affairs in order for a month and then turn yourself in. You know, you're not a flight risk. So I'm praying that he gives me this. So the judge, it's January. The judge says, "All right, I'm going to give you an ample amount of time to get your affairs on and finish your cooperation." He's like, "You are required to turn yourself in September, dude." 9 months he gave me. I was fucking blown the fuck away. My mouth dropped. 9 fucking months for me with a 10-year sentence to go get my affairs in order and finish working with Glendale PD. I'm like, who the fuck gets that? I've never heard of it. And he's like, I will not give you a day longer. So do not even attempt to request any longer time. I was like, thank you, Your Honor.
That was overkill.
I walked out of there feeling like I won the case. I felt like I was convicted, like acquitted, like I was not guilty. Cause I was like, you give me 9 months, I'll get the job done. Like I will figure out how to fucking give them everything they want and just fucking just
and then fucking leave the country.
Well, not leave it, but just at least wipe out the whole sentence. I mean, if I deliver enough, then I could potentially wipe it out, you know?
So everything that you did for Glendale, you did enough here in California, it would help the case out in Miami.
Everything. It was all about that. Like nothing was going for Glendale because Glendale's didn't charge me with anything. They dropped those charges. So they were just helping me. Plus I was giving them, you know, something to hang their hats on. You know, they wanted cases. So that's how it went. He said 9 months, dude. I walked out of there. My family, we were all like high-fiving, like hugging, like, yes, I got 10 years, but I got 9 months to pull this off. I mean, I was fucking relieved.
Ecstatic.
Shocked. Couldn't believe it. The judge was nice. A really nice judge. Judge Marino was his name. So we get back to freaking to California in Glendale. And now it's like nothing's happening. And now I'm just sitting here and staying under house arrest. I got this one case that I already got back in October. And I tried to get a job. I was getting a job selling mortgages in an office from a guy who was like a former mob guy who I was close with. And he was just like giving me a job to do just to get out and try to earn some money. So I was doing that. I was blowing up like a balloon. I was like, because I was obviously recovering from being a meth head. So I was like getting fat, eating, sitting home and just playing video games and poker games. You know, like I was really, really getting into the poker scene. And it was like, now I was like the bug. Like when I get bit by the bug, I become obsessed with shit. So like if it was the acting or if it was the criminal shit, it's like now that's the new project. That's what it became. It was like the new
a very
obsession.
addictive mindset, bro.
Yeah. And when I'm done, I'm done. It's just like, boom, it's over. I walk away. It's like, I never do it again. And so the beginning stages of the poker, ESPN highlights the World Series. And now I'm playing online for free. And I'm like winnings, all like millions for free. Then I start putting a little bit of money into the thing. And now you win a little bit of money. And now you think you're so good. And now you're losing money. And I was losing and I kept filling up. I kept putting money back into it on a credit card and playing these tournaments, getting better at the game, learning the game, harnessing skills, but thinking I'm good and kind of sucking. So that's going on. And then nothing's happening. It's like freaking, 1 month goes by, 2 months go by, 3 months go by, 4 months go. I'm just kind of doing nothing. I'm just kind of waiting for this date to come and nothing's happening.
Dude. You're 9 months, man, going to shit.
Yeah, I'm like, get something done, man. And it's like the fire's not under my ass because I got so much time ahead of me. I'm just like, I got so much time. But it's like, what are you going to do? Like, you haven't been in the game now, like for a while, and everybody knows you've been popped. So how are you going to make this magic? Like, you got to start hustling something like, but it's hard because I can't really buy drugs anymore and I can't really sell them and I can't really leave the house. I'm kind of stuck.
I think that's why he gave you so much time because he knew that you were already set up for like, well, what more can he give? I
don't know. Like to get that amount of time, maybe Glendale was like, listen, we've got a big case and we need at least X amount of time for this kid because we don't want to blow it. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, what they did for me was they didn't have to do, especially when I kind of just made them look bad. and betrayed them, so to speak, saying that I was doing on Clean and Narrow, and then they found out I was fucking selling the whole
Mrs.
time.
Detective. She liked you. She had a thing
You
for
just keep harping on that. Maybe you know, I never got that vibe. I got more of a brotherly, like a younger brotherly vibe from her. Like, you know, she just thought I was a good kid in a bad spot that got caught up, and it pretty much was the case. I was a law-abiding citizen prior to all this fucking shit happening. Like, I never got in trouble prior to this. It was just like a 8-year run, a 5-year, 8-year run. It started and it never stopped. But so overall, I was a good guy, and she felt it. So she went to bat for me, and God, she saved my ass, because here's what happens. Now we're getting pretty much close to fucking, now it's like we're at come to the end of this now. And she calls me and she tells me that she busted fucking D-Rock, Rockstar D-Rock, based off of the information that I gave years ago, a couple of years ago. And she busted like 3 other fucking big time guys based on information from her following me to a guy's place, and then following that guy to a guy's place, and following that guy to the main guy. I got the credit because I led her to the right guy that led to the right guy. Did these guys get credit? I have no idea what their deal was, if they cooperated or not. But the point is that she calls me and she's like, we got him. We got Rockstar. And she's like, and you're getting credit for it. And dude, they got the monster, dude. Like when they got him, they got the whale. Like they got him with like millions of dollars in cash and tons and fucking pounds and pounds and pounds of dope and fucking a whole bunch of other people in the network.
Yeah.
And dude, and he was like a nut job when they got him. He was like, fuck you. I'm not saying shit. Go fuck yourself. Because he can't say nothing. He's up against the cartel now. He's got to keep quiet. And he said he always knew he was going away. He's like, we're all going away eventually. It's just a matter of time. So he knew his day was up. But man, what a score for him and me and them. It was like, out of blue, like the shit that I did prior to that, I didn't really have to do it. And I was so far removed from it that there was no way he could possibly connect me to it. Or
you were already so low key. You were popping Miami.
I hadn't talked to him in so long. It was like there was no way they would connect me to any of that. And then there was this other guy in Compton that I used to buy as a backup. He was like a gang, not a gay, basically a gang guy in Compton. I used to have to drive down whenever I was stuck and I needed something in a pinch. I would get his shit. I'd drive to Compton in my Beamer and fucking and just fucking roll into the neighborhoods, like sticking out like a sore thumb, shit in my pants, fucking pulling. But he was like, he had me protected where it's like, you know, don't touch this guy. But man, this guy was not somebody you want to fuck with either. And yet I was also far removed from him. I just led them to the location and then they took it from there. They did all their shit from there. They staked it out. They followed guys and then they made their move based on whatever they felt was necessary. So they got him too. Yeah. All of a sudden, all these cases are fucking just falling like dominoes in my credit. So I'm like, dude, this is golden. Like,
the network. It was a network that you had done. That's what they were saving you for.
I didn't know it was going to, like, you know how I didn't know the conspiracy thing was a big deal. I didn't know that, like, I could get credit for something that I wasn't directly involved in, but I was a part of, like the initial thing. Because without me, it wouldn't have never started. So now I'm thinking, dude, I've got so much more than they ever could have gotten from me. Like just from me alone, they got no dope. They got some cash, you know, they got cash, but not millions and millions. And what they got with Rockstar was fucking like tons of dope, tons of cash. And then this guy, they got 5 pounds off of him. And this guy cut 3 pounds. So I was like, dude, you score. Like the government basically to trade me for all that is a no-brainer. Like I should be completely wiped out clean. I shouldn't have any sense. Like it should be over. Like I should walk. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm like fucking on cloud 9. I'm feeling confident. And then so now I got to self-surrender. And then Glendale's, they submit their paperwork and they submit it to the prosecutor, and my lawyer basically are supposed to process this. And now I'm supposed to basically get the reduction and find out what the reduction is. And so I go to my grandparents' house and stay there, spend some time there, and then they drop me off I could self-surrender anywhere I want. It was any jail I could self-surrender. So they self-surrender me in Florida in Fort Myers in the county jail. And dude, I mean, like I said my goodbyes, but I was so confident. It was like I'm gonna be out of here in an hour. Like I'm gonna walk in and basically they're gonna make a phone call and then they're gonna say, okay, yeah, he's done. All right, you could go home. And so that's what the next phase was. I get into the thing ready to freaking go home, and I don't go home. nobody's coming to get me to go home. I'm basically getting shipped off to prison now, and I'm like, what's going on, man? Like, I should be out of here. And it wasn't the case.
Wait,
we'll stop it there.
Hold the fuck up,
part
dude.
6.
Wait, dog. Wait.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Oh,
yeah.
stop, dude. Wait. You fuck
For real. What a buzzkill that was. But you know what? In a way, it was kind of good because my emotions weren't depressed. I was confident. So when it all hit me that I wasn't going home that day, I was still confident. Like any day, any minute now, I'm gonna be going home. Any minute now.
No,
and
the fucking story can't stop like that, bro. Fuck no.
Any minute I'm going home. You gotta stay tuned
fucking for Warrior 6, bro.
Part 6 is fun too. You're gonna like that one. They're all fun. You're gonna like it. Here we go. The next stop, jail. The next stop on the train. Here we are.
Oh man, dude, I am ecstatic, bro. That is a hell of a fucking story. It's an up and down roller coaster.
It doesn't stop, right?
Show.
It's like one after another. These deals that keep going down, and then the feds, and it's like,
and you build up the fucking climax, dude. You have everybody falling, everything's going your way. You're about to fucking turn yourself in. You turn yourself in. You're like, I'm gonna walk out of this bitch, and boom.
Well, yeah, everything wasn't going my way, and then all of a sudden it made a complete U-turn to go all my way at the last second, and then it just did not go my way. So I'll tell you how that went.
Oh,
stay tuned, folks.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you find him on Renegade Family of Light on Instagram. Let them know one more time, bro, where they can find you.
Renegade Family of Light on Instagram. Come check it out. Say what's up. Let me know you listen to the episode, and we could chop it up. Ask me any questions you want.
Drop some questions for him. Hit him up on the DM too. Yeah, and you know what? Quite frankly, I'm enjoying this shit. And you know, I was speaking with the Born Awake Oracle on Sunday, and I told her, you know, quite frankly, I don't give a fuck about the following of these people. Not that I don't care about my followers, I do, but I don't care about the following of the people that we have on, because I remember when you had me on your show when I only had about fucking 70 fucking followers. Correct. You know, like I remember when I was nowhere, and still I am nowhere compared to the big guys, but like the growth has been, it's there, right? Like I don't.
You got to mix it up. You can't just only focus on a person's
on
following.
The names. Exactly. And then I'm not
because I was there once. Either. I had the following once, and they got stripped down.
For the people that do not know, JP was up in the hundreds of thousands before 4 years ago, before the election happened. You were up there in the hundreds of thousands. I remember when Breaking the Matrix was a 95K when he first collaborated with us, and he gave us the biggest episode of all time.
He was he was the leader bigger. I wasn't as big as Morph, but you know, I had success, and it's gut-wrenching to get it ripped out from under you. So exactly. Like and you know, you had like 70 or 100 followers, but we believed in you. So it wasn't like we were just looking to get exposure for, but you know, it was like Morph got me on the map. Like I didn't have that many when I got to Morph, and then he boosted my freaking thing. So it was like it all goes down the line, you know. If the talent's there and the passion's there and the connection's there, the people will gravitate. You know?
That's right. And make sure you check them out, ladies and gentlemen. If for any reason you can't find them, you can find them on ParanormalRadio.com under special guests and links. Have a good one. Thank you for being here. Do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It allows other people to enjoy the show as much as we enjoy making it. Peace out.
Paranoid Radio.